Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome on our discussion about AI and future jobs. I am really happy to welcome my guest, starting with lady, Lucia Gogová. You probably already know her. She's country HR manager at IBM. Thank you very much that you came. Then we've got Jakub Šimko, who is a researcher at KINIT, Kempelen Institute of Technology, Intelligent Technologies. And we've got Gabriel Galgóci from AT&T. And as well, you are president of board of directors of Center for Artificial Intelligence. So thank you very much that you are here. Let's start with first round of questions. We've got one mic, so I hope that it is okay that we will share it. When I start to do my research for this discussion, I, of course, put it to ChatGPT just to help me a little bit. And I was really surprised that all of the questions which came were pretty techno-optimistic. Like, nothing is going on, very beneficial, AI is super good. So let's start with first round. Should we be afraid, or are you more happy with the future which is ahead of us? We can start with Jakub.
I'm a little bit skeptical, on the skeptical side.
We will go back to that. But
from my point of view, it's privilege to have such an opportunity to live with the AI and to see what effect will have AI, because when we read about AI, we can see positive, we can see negative. Nobody has a crystal ball, and how this will evolve, how this will impact our daily life, our work. It's very exciting times we are living in. Of course, people are reluctant and are pushing back change. So many people are afraid because they do not know what is ahead of us. So that's why I believe this scaring news are coming from, because we don't know what's in front of us.
Okay.
Well, it's very well distributed because I'm optimist. So I'm happy
we've
that
got full scale.
Yeah, of course. Let me explain. I think that by nature I'm a lazy person. I admit publicly. So any technology which helps me, which makes my life easier, I welcome, and obviously I'm really pretty much looking forward. But as it has been said already, every, I would say, new technology, new advancement can be used both positive as well as negative, right? So basically, we need to be very careful because obviously we need to really somehow ensure that AI, as any other technologies, is used only for the positive things, right? So if you look at AI from the perspective that take COVID as an example, sequencing DNA or RNA of the viruses will take normally, I don't know, a couple of years to get into the bottom of the fact that what is the root cause and how we can really fight that virus and how we can really find, I would say, effective cure. But with AI, you can accelerate that effect, and obviously it can give you obviously time lapse, if you like, right? So basically, something which normally would take 1 year, you can do with AI within a couple of hours or a couple of days, if that's it depends how big that the data size is, right? Things like repetitive things, which probably might be very boring. As an example, you can think, obviously, when you look at Bratislava as an example, there are public cameras or cameras on public places, and not sure how many people really would be willing to look at the, I don't know, 100 screens, 8 hours, and be sure that you can really stay focused and you observe what is going on there, if there is a public riot, if there is somebody doing something inappropriate and stuff like that, right? But AI can give you that advantage, that AI, you can program AI that it will give you opportunity that if you define, if there is an increase of the voice or loudness on certain place, then send an alert or remind me or start blinking or whatever, right? If there is a certain item like gun, knife or stick, being observed on a picture and even on a motion picture, then basically give that public officer or policeman an alert that something is going on at, I don't know, some square. And all of a sudden you see that basically AI is a positive thing, right? So from my perspective, I'm very much optimistic. On the other hand, as the subject of today's discussion is how AI will impact jobs, it depends. For those people who are lazy to learn new things and who are lazy to study and really keep themselves up to date, it's certainly a scare or a scary thing, obviously, because that might mean that their job might be replaced. Depends how that job is critical or what that job is about. If it's a repetitive type of thing, entering invoices into the Excel spreadsheet, AI will do it probably, or is already doing it, right? But if you work in a creative industry, or if you work in a creative field, then probably AI will not replace creativity. Obviously, you can use these AI tools which are really drawing pictures and stuff like that. Is it the creativity? Perhaps yes, but it's only replicating what it has been already done, right? So in my opinion, Jakub can probably chip in more. He's a scientist, so he can give us the scientist view. But AI, from my perspective, and all these chat GPTs and all these tools which are available, they are only looking at what has been already produced. So in history, all the text, books, chats, information. It's not really looking forward to something which can be done in the future, right? So I believe that AI can make life easier. AI can really accelerate a lot of positive things. But obviously, we need to be ready, and we need to be really dealing with that as it will come.
Even though you are very positive, I would like to get on the skeptical side of it as well. So maybe I would start with that. I think the first threat for everybody is that some people will lose jobs. It's like the number one, which everybody fears. So let's discuss this a little bit. Jakub, do you see any specific industry or any specific job which could be more vulnerable to AI as it is?
Let's split it into two categories. Like the first would be like completely destroying a job type. And second would be like transforming a job type. In my opinion, the second option will be much more frequent than the first one. I can't really pinpoint like any industry. Maybe a very specific particular job is if someone is really filling out Excel sheets all day using some human intelligence task work, but still something that can be automated by some large language model, for example. Okay, that can be replaced like entirely, but I believe that much more frequently we will see positions being transformed with people who are like more adaptive, retaining their positions or even like growing in them. And some people will perhaps be pushed aside, but it won't be like a big bang sort of thing.
Could you maybe give us also examples for the second, for the transformation? Like what positions could
copywriters, for example. These are
very good for me as I'm doing journalism.
But also like the visual art is somehow not threatened, but it will be influenced. Like it's true that the AI is only trained on the stuff that already exists. But consider this: the stuff that already exists, like anywhere on Earth, is sometimes quite weird, and these models can capture that weirdness. Like if you play with Dolly, you can generate very like freaky things that you truly believe that okay, this is like a completely new artistic style. For example, I see here that that's happening already. So these people as well. I'm not really sure about positions like management or something. Like working with people in general, I think it's the least threatened. Also waiters, won't lose their job. Which is funny because like 10 years ago, the opinion was usually quite the opposite, right? The low-paying jobs, the easily attainable jobs will be like removed first because robotization, etc. And now it looks that it won't be like this. Mm-hmm. But if I can return to the general question to explain the skepticism, because I was quite fast, I know. When I say skeptic, I mean I think of people. Like I'm really skeptic about people's ability to use AI right for good purposes. Like I'm not skeptical about the technological advances. We will probably see them faster or slower. We can talk about the limits of the currently available data. We can talk about whether we will not have like an internet full of generated texts in 2 years, unable to distinguish what's originally human and what was generated, and we can observe like glass ceiling of the performance of the large language models easily, but it may turn out that won't be a problem. We don't know yet. But in general, we can observe, we can expect like technological advances and more sophisticated AI. So from that perspective, I will also be like an optimist, but I'm skeptical about the human side.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry for the long answer.
Lucia, maybe you could give us some thoughts on people losing job from your HR perspective.
I believe everybody will need to think about their jobs and how AI will influence them. I believe the most impacted jobs will be white collars, the entry-level job. As it was mentioned, I believe management and executives will not be so impacted as entry-level jobs. And when I studied some materials, there was an interesting fact about IT guys, because in IBM we are IT company, how this will influence our IT guys. There is a trend when IT guys won't need such a deep technical knowledge because system will program, and there is low coding, which is trend, and we will need not such a deep technical people like generally, and we would need to have people who have very good soft skills. So really technology will help you. You will need to understand business process. You will need to have common sense and very good soft skills. So when I was discussing with our colleagues, okay, you have a team of coders really like staying at home, coding, not discussing with anybody, like this is the job which will be impacted because system will code for you as a business person, and these people will need to adjust their social skills in order to be able to stay on the market.
Gabriel, you want to add something?
I don't agree with that statement, Frank. Well, I would say Jakub is probably more right that jobs will be transformed, not lost. Because obviously, unless it's really something very, very basic, but I don't believe that people are really doing basic stuff these days, right? So unless you're at home gardening and picking some stuff, right? So basically, but at work, people probably don't do I would say basic stuff. But yes, artificial intelligence can write the code, but somebody would need to create the entry requirements. So the coder will probably not be the guy who will be typing 1,000 lines of the code and programming these things, but the programmer would be the guy or person who will need to really very well understand the requirements and would need to translate it into I would say, meaningful set of definitions, which that let's call it tool for the moment, will create, right? I don't know how many of you really play with the ChatGPT because it's a really sexy, attractive theme, but you need to have very well defined requirements for ChatGPT to really get meaningful outcome, right? Because crap in, crap out, right? So if you give the ChatGPT, I would say incomplete or I would say vague definition, what you want, that it will give you that vague answer, right? So,
but wouldn't you say that the technology will upgrade in upcoming years? Like this is only entry level for
technology will not change your requirement. You are a human being, right? I want my tea with a drop of sugar and drop of milk, right? Jakub doesn't want any sugar in his tea, right? He wants a green tea. I want a black tea, right? Somebody else wants a fruit tea, right? So basically, the requirements are coming from us, from human. A robot will not come and say, well, you will drink green tea, you will drink black tea, you will drink a fruit tea, and if you don't like it, it's your problem because I told you to do that, right? So it's the same with the clothing. It's the same with anything which is really touching human, right? So basically, I think that this is a wrong interpretation of people that basically we as a human have a need and requirement, right? And technology is really helping us, right? AI is only helping us really to achieve what we want, right? We want to have a faster answer on something. ChatGPT has been created as a tool which is researching millions or billions of lines of text and is really extracting information from there. It's a very good tool to really get you or to help I would say human beings study. So if I would like to know something about the Second World War, I don't need to go and read 1,000 books. I can get the research from ChatGPT if I really define the requirements well. I can get facts on 2 A4 pages about the Second World War, and probably would be enough for me because basically this is what I was looking for, right? But if I would like to read a novel or some I would say text about I would call lyrics about something, then I would not really call for ChatGPT. I will go to library or somewhere and really read the book, right? So basically, anything, including AI, is really helping us. I can give you an example, probably more interesting or more I would say understandable. When in a couple of years back, there were people who understood voice technologies, right? So the analog voice technologies. When voice has been translated to IP, we are in IBM, so basically probably many people will understand it. All these voice guys lost the thought that they will lose their job. But this was not really correct because IP is only transport of the voice. But the voice quality, I would say right technology, right coding, everything is the expertise which these voice guys had, right? So basically, what they need to learn how to transport voice not over the analog lines or copper lines, but how to transform it over IP packets. And all of a sudden, their I would say negative feeling about losing job has been translated. Oh, if I will upgrade my skills and I will understand how IP packets work and how I can really translate or encapsulate voice data into the IP packets and transfer it over the network, then all of a sudden my skills or my capabilities enhance, because obviously I'm not really talking about the short distance, long distance call, but I'm talking about WhatsApp or any other chatting applications or voice application, right? So basically, this is how we should really look at the technology. And I honestly, as a person, I do understand that negative feeling. First of all, Hollywood movies are really helping that or fueling, which is absolutely incorrect. But the second, anything which human being cannot touch, feel, smell is scary, right? So basically, you need to have a very good imagination to understand how something, and Jakub will tell you, AI is only mathematical expression of certain functions, right? So basically, if you are a mathematician, obviously you can write the AI script or code, which is only the mathematical function. So basically, only couple of people or people who are good in mathematics can understand what is behind it, right? So does anybody care if you bring your iPhone from the pocket or Google the Android phone and you use Alexa or Siri? Do you care how that works behind? How this is really catching information like what's the weather tomorrow in Bratislava? You don't care. You're looking for the information, right? It's all AI. But obviously the scareness is coming from the fact that people can really touch, feel, or maybe don't even understand what is behind it. And unknown is always scary for anybody. You look at history, look at people like, I don't know, 10th, 11th century, when there was a sun covered by moon, obviously, then people were said, oh, it's end of the world, so because you didn't behave correctly. And people were scared because they didn't know what's happening. And it's pure thing that moon really can get between sun and earth, and basically that's something which is easily to explain when you have the knowledge and when you have the experience.
I love your positivity. It makes me feel better. But I've got one more challenge. You wanted to comment on that?
I wanted to return the discussion to the software engineering, because that's really like a funny thing to think about in this context. Just a quick question. Who of you manages software projects here? One person. Who acts as a product owner or something like this? Takes part in software projects in any capacity. Okay. In software engineering, programming skills aren't the critical factor of success of a project. Like, it's always communication among the team members, understanding of needs, understanding of requirements, and I don't see AI like enhancing these things. Once AI starts to enhance these things, then we are talking. Before that, the success rate of software projects will be the same, even though some of the coding will be done by AI. Also, I forgot about architecture building. Like, designing the right architecture, I don't believe the AI will be able to do that unless it is like a very typical, okay, if we are building another e-shop, then okay. But like some enterprise solution tailored to specific needs of some big company somewhere in other part of the world, I don't know. That would require much context to grasp for the model. I don't see that coming. So unless AI enters this part of the field, we don't need to fear. Of course, more skilled people in this direction will be needed. And when I think about students of IT, they always love to code. They want to code. They don't want to deal with customers in any way, understand them or something. I even got a feedback on a lecture that I gave on requirement gathering from a student. I'm not kidding. He wrote, or she, that this is not a part of informatics. You know, why am I telling you this? You know, why you are telling me about speaking to some people and filling out some forms or something? No, this is nothing to do with IT. And I was like, it does, but really, like, this will need to change as well.
Maybe I can add, our colleague is also teaching artificial intelligence at university in Košice, and he was saying, I changed my syllabus and I am teaching about emotions in the IT field, that people who are working on the projects, they need to, at the end, have a good feeling. Customers need to have a good feeling. Nobody really cares 100% correct code. Results and the feeling is very, very important. And this is what I was mentioning, soft skills, communication. This is what will be very important also for the future. And artificial intelligence will not replace.
Do you see how AI could help us with these soft skills and like with managing our emotions and like being better employees? Because we usually use it for technical stuff, right? But you've said that.
I would say, well, there are things which are called social robots, right? Where you have AI behind, right? So imagine a patient who has Alzheimer, and basically need to really repeat certain things, and then need to probably practice or stretch muscles or Parkinson, right? So one of these illnesses. It's very typical that social robots will be used for these patients to help them to repeat phrases, to repeat certain I would say activities, and they will do it, and they will also record the progress of the person, and they will be really also really giving that person certain I would say feedback how that person is working on it, right? So basically, that is something where you have a positive use of AI. Yes, you can have a human being, but obviously that nurse or doctor might be not really having always the same mood, might have a difficult day, obviously because, I don't know, got the parking ticket or got the fine on the way to work, or had a car accident. So basically coming to that patient might be influencing the progress of that patient. The social robot will still always have the same mood, will be available 24/7 and so on, right? So you need to understand that AI is another technology, right? So basically, look at things like in, I don't know, 15th century, when you wanted to go from Europe to America, it took, I don't know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks to sail on boat, right? And then basically they found out the aeroplanes, and then people being scared first time because it's not touching ground, it's flying like birds, and obviously what we will do, right? And all of a sudden people they thought, okay, it's a good way to cut the time, right? I think I look at the technology from the perspective that human beings are really, I would not say accelerating things, but helping to get stuff done much better, faster, or maybe better quality. And AI is specifically the technology which is really helping to perform million times the same task with the same quality, with the same result, if you program it well.
It's great that you... Sorry, want to comment?
I just I completely agree, and I would also add like another use case. We can easily imagine chatbots fine-tuned as social skill trainers. Like if we do have, let's say, HR trainees, like entry-level positions, and we want them to pass a more practical testing or more practical training. I can easily imagine like AI emulating situations for them. They will need to answer. The situations will be variable because the AI will like imagine a different context. I believe there are already like startups doing this.
Yeah, and probably these case studies could be as well used for any different role. As I was asking you in my first question about some AI-driven disruption of job roles, I have this question in benefits as well. Like, if you have any industry, or do you see whole industries being created by AI? Like, I think that it is very like future question, but if you have anything in your mind, like something new coming up for us. Anything, who wants to start?
Like a brand new industry that's okay. Maybe you have some ideas, but I don't. But like existing industries being heavily supported by AI, then yes.
And transformed, yes.
Healthcare diagnostics.
Okay.
Like we do have a collaboration with a Slovak startup called AI Dental. They basically process RTG scans of teeth by AI and machine learning. That is one example, and like we can find many of such examples in healthcare or in automotive.
I can just comment based on World Economic Forums that they're saying, okay, there are certain millions of jobs which will be dismissed, but there are more jobs to come. But nobody is defining. We don't know, and this is also a question for educational system. We have kids; they are learning still old structures, and what we are going to teach them in order to prepare them for the market that they are going to be in 10 years. Nobody knows. So this is really like crystal ball.
From new job or industry, it's probably very difficult, but honestly, never say never, right? So look at the gaming industry. Nobody really ever thought that the games will be really generating profit and will be multi-billion industry, virtual reality, augmented reality, all that stuff, right? So I think that sky is the limit, right? So there are no limits for new jobs, new type of industries. I don't know how many of you probably remember. When I was a young kid, I never heard about the user experience manager role, right? So, and these days, when look at the internet, right? So many companies are looking for user experience manager. Who cares about user at that time when I was young, right? So basically, we were happy that something was coded and has been working, right? So we didn't really, well, I would say nobody really care about whether user will like it or not. We were happy that it was really doing what it was supposed to do, right? So I think that it's more. And I will go back to my previous comments, right? It's more about humans really demanding better, faster, much more, I would say, friendlier type of products, solutions, services, and basically that's what will be really creating those industries, right? So when you go to your favorite restaurant, you go there probably because you like the food. You have maybe your favorite dish there. Maybe you like the service stuff there, but it really depends. Your favorite dish might probably not be coming same quality, same time, because maybe the I would say ingredients are different, or cook put a little bit more salt or a little bit less salt, and then the taste is a little bit different, right? So would you be okay if the food will be tasting or your favorite dish will be tasting same every time when you come to restaurant? Probably yes, right? Would you be happy if you eat only that dish? Probably not, because you need variety sometimes. Maybe you order the dish million times, but first time you wanted to try something else.
Okay. Another question for three of you. Do you have any examples from your company, your institute, of successful integration of AI? Like how is AI using these days in your company? Maybe we can start with Gabriel.
Oh, there are many successful, I would say, implementation. We are really the technology company, so obviously we use AI in everything, right? So a couple of examples. One of them is predictive maintenance. In US, we have our fleet of company cars who are really going to customer, and obviously when you promise to customer that our technician will come tomorrow at 10 o'clock and his car breaks in the morning or doesn't start because the battery is flat or something like that, then basically customer is unhappy and obviously escalate and probably didn't even pay or ask for discount on his next invoice. So basically we implemented AI into we collect data from those cars from different chips and sensors, and we try to somehow and we are successful to train the AI to model to the extent that it will tell us with 97% probability when the car will break and when it needs certain repair, right? So battery replacement and stuff like that, right? So that's one example. Another example is that we have customers coming with the specific requirements. A typical customer will call our help desk or GCSC, Global Service Center, and will say it doesn't work. Okay, what doesn't work, right? So, okay, I wanted to send an email and it doesn't work. Okay, so what does it mean? From which machine, what operation system and stuff like that, right? So you need to really have people who are really trained on certain technology. So what we implemented on the AI side is that we loaded lots of data into model, which says, I know programming, I can speak English, I can speak Spanish, whatever, and then obviously it really assign the agents based on customer obviously have the options at the beginning, and they call in and there is a set of selection. Okay, is this problem about the email? Yes. Okay, so is this problem about not functioning email? Yes. Is this, do you speak English? No, I speak Spanish. So basically AI will select the agent which meets criteria based on the customer selection, right? And if the agent is not successful, but is not able to solve the problem and need to pass it to some other colleague, AI will record it and will recommend to that agent, like, okay, last two tickets or last two cases, you've been not able to fix it. Maybe it's a problem. Here are the recommended trainings for you. Maybe if you complete this training, next time it will be successful 100%. So these are just two examples of successful implementation of AI. But there are multiple other examples, but I will leave my colleague.
Okay, so I can comment from HR perspective. So we are using AI in all talent circle for employees. I believe lots of you do not know really HR colleagues of yours, and you are communicating with Ask HR Bot. So all the requests are coming to the Ask HR Bot, and this is really, we are client zero for this implementation, and based on the numbers, it's a very successful tool. Also, when we are looking and you are going to your learning, you are saying, I want to go from finance to IT, then the tool will tell you, okay, this course to take, this certification to take. So really AI is working based on your personal preferences, customization. So we are working on daily basis with the AI, and what I can say, it's we are also checking the feedback because I saw many of you like saying, okay, we have a Ask HR Bot, but I haven't received correct answer. So it's still the tool to work on. So it's not like final stage now. It's still learning. So this is also expectation what everybody should have from the technology. It's evolving and it's getting more and more precise.
Well, good thing is that Ask HR Bot doesn't have a vacation, doesn't go for lunch, and doesn't have a break, right? So basically, it's available.
Perfect employee.
So perfect employee, maybe except maintenance and when the server is being maintained. So basically, this is an example when employee can really ask technology or really deal with technology, because normal HR has a starting hours and finishing hours, some lunch break, maybe go for I don't know, medical check or I don't know, some training and stuff like that. Ask HR, but probably is available 24 hours, right?
By the way, it's better when people don't trust the bot completely rather than like relying on it all the time, because the AI will really do mistakes a long time from now. So having just blind followers of the recommendation of some bot would be much more dangerous, in my opinion. So like skeptical users in this case are better. Yeah, that's true, but that's actually true. Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask whether you use AI for CV pre-screening.
There are also checks for the CV, and also in recruitment, it's very helpful. Like you give a prompt, and this will create job description. How this can be displayed on the job portals. So really, from timing perspective, there are many activities which AI is helping a lot. So definitely be skeptical, but there are lots of things which really help us in day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's that copywriting right there. Okay, so in Kinit, we obviously research AI. So we work with it in multiple domains. Me personally, for example, I'm dealing with like disinformation combating. So we are using various models for analyzing content and behavior of users online. We are also auditing online algorithms. So basically checking with AI on another AI, which may be causing some harms, but in our like processes, that's much harder actually. I would say that the most helpful thing is like this autocomplete functionality in some coding environments. Like when you are programming, it suggests what you should type next, and my job is usually to write like grant proposals. So sometimes like Google Documents really can end the sentence well for me, like the last two words. Okay, helps a lot. By the way, I don't use ChatGPT for generating my text because I don't believe it has a good quality. But I'm like a sort of a typing the text freak. So yeah. Doesn't have the grade I need yet.
So you still need people for writing in Knitt. I should help you then.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Last round of question will be more about new skills. I just wanted to mention that we have Slido. I believe it is written over there. So put your questions. We will get back to that. Imagine that you could start university again. You can, obviously, but you are like 20, 23, and you're starting your career path. What are the skills what you would focus on?
It's a mindset, not skills. Like mindset that everything will change, nothing is for certain. Nothing is, given. No hard skill I learn here will last me. Yeah. This
Good promo for universities.
But I would love to go to university again. Like I would repeat that all over again, anytime.
I'm planning to start third age university. Too young, but I have it in my plans, and I would like to learn French. But with the AI, in few years, you will not need to learn any foreign language because AI will translate simultaneously. So the question is if this is just to have a hobby or to really have a skill to learn it. So this is my dream.
I'm not really sure if I would like to have a romantic moment with my girlfriend and not really than using AI to translate because she speaks different language than I, right? So I think it's always really beneficial to learn different languages. Before I answer your question, I will give you one more example, right, or thought, right? Earlier this year, we had an event which we call AI Clinic with University Hospital of Martin and the medical university in Eastern Medical University in Martin, and we've been really discussing with doctors from the hospital as well as with the teachers from the university what they are missing at their work, right? And obviously they said there is not enough skilled doctors. Right, so surgeons, for example, right, and obviously when there is a young student who finish or graduate from the university, he or she comes to hospital and needs to really work with more experienced colleague who has 10-15 years experience and really observe, and then basically for a couple of years, and then basically then they change roles, and then the young surgeon is really doing the operation, and the more experience is seeing watching over the shoulder or really watching the hands. So imagine that AI will now have unlimited access. It's not really possible to do these days because of the data privacy and medical data and all that stuff, right? So legal issues are really. But imagine that AI tool will have access to all operation around the world of certain things, right? So you break your leg, and all broken legs, X-rays, operation data, videos, everything will be somewhere stored, and AI will have access there. And there will be only young doctor who is fresh from university and is the only person who can save your life. You will, because obviously what people normally do when they come to hospital and when they go for, I would say, critical or major operation, I want to have the best expert in the world, right? But imagine that AI will give that person information. We examined 10,000 or 100 million operation, and this is the best approach. This is the best step-by-step guide, and the doctor will have glasses, maybe Google glasses or some other tool, which will be giving the instruction to the doctor: cut here, stitch here. Here is the problem based on the information from the X-ray, right? So all of a sudden, the young doctor will have knowledge of his colleagues from millions of years, right? So basically that is what is really helping. That is why AI and technologies are really good, in my opinion, right? That's why I'm optimist, right? I don't mind really have that operation. It's such a young doctor. And now going back to your question about what I will do differently, I would say I will not do anything different because I studied I would say technical school. So I would say I would recommend those who really choose the easy path and went to non-technical school and didn't study mathematics, physics, and all these subjects?
I did not.
Okay, so if you go second time for university, or if you have a chance, go back, study mathematics, technical field, and everything, because these are the hard skills which are really difficult to train. Soft skills, basically, you can train people, you can really somehow teach them how to really be more human. But if you don't understand these hard skills or these technical skills, basically, it's very difficult for you to understand how, for example, AI works. So I will probably do not change. I will still go for a Slovak technical university. I don't mind. I'm pretty proud to say that I'm the graduate from the Slovak technical university, and I would go there second time if possible.
I know. Made my mind. I will go for something interdisciplinary, probably. I love the technical education I got also at Slovak University of Technology. But now, I don't know, I would probably go for some sort of computational psychology, if such thing even exists, or anthropology. And returning back to the question about the new industry, I also recalled something. We are facing an environmental crisis here, and I would really like to see AI being employed in solving this in many ways. First of all, we need to make the AI a little bit more resource saving itself. Like the large language models really consume a lot of power. Not so much as blockchain and crypto. That's a big problem actually. But also like large language models, we can afford that. But that's just like the beginning, the AI itself. But like solving other stuff, like how to be less wasteful. For example, with the food, I would really love to see like AI tools and AI systems helping using the resources of the planet better. Of course, that won't like remove the greed of humans, because this will ultimately kill us, not the lack of technology. Okay, I need to say that because that's important.
Thank you. I talked more about students, about starting university, but let's switch it back to employees. What should we do just to future-proof our careers? Like, what can we do now? We are in new era, new technologies coming on. Is there anything specific any employees should do?
From my perspective, they should elaborate where they are now, what skills they have, and to be open-minded, because all the skill and opportunities are coming. So really to see the trends and to dig dive. For example, in IBM, we are now really focus on AI. Each employee needs to take courses. So really understand what is there for you, and don't be afraid of change. So this is the most important. And to understand nothing is written in the stone. Everything will be changing, and really change the mindset. And another thing which is very important, to understand the processes, how the process is working. You do not need to be really professional, like dig dive and understand 100%, but end-to-end, common sense, how each process is linking to another process. How can I influence the process? Where is the added value for me when I change this process? So really looking at the things from higher perspective, not to take just a small piece of our work, but end-to-end, how my work is contributing, where I can add value, and really mindset, it's the key for me at this stage.
From my perspective, I would say be curious as an employee, right? So learn things or observe, read, get yourself informed about what is going on, right? You don't need to deep dive into I would say, very little details of every technology, because I still believe that not everybody can really somehow be expert in every field, right? You need to pick the field which is really okay for you. But obviously, you need to have at least fair understanding of everything what is going on in your company, right? So if you work at IBM, obviously you should be interested about technology. You should really understand what is going on, right? Do you need to know how I don't know, aeroplanes are crafted? Probably not with IBM, right? So, but you probably need to understand the IT behind aeronautics, how the traffic control is working and all that stuff, right? So what technology is being used, how the data transmitted and stuff like that, right? So from that perspective, I think don't be lazy, be curious, and really try to really somehow learn things, or at least get yourself informed about things which are really around you. Watch what is going on, maybe read some articles here and there about the new advancement, new technologies. Sometimes it's even interesting to read quarterly results of many companies, like, for example, IBM, where the smart people from the companies are really saying, well, we believe that this is where our company is going. We believe this is the future where we'll be investing, right? And if you don't understand probably half of that, I would say, sentence or speech, get yourself informed what is going on, what they are talking about. You don't need to become an expert, just understand what they are talking about.
I believe there is nothing much to add. Perhaps one notion, take time to experiment with new tools. When we are talking about like AI supported by large language models, there's a plethora of like tools that emerged like in past year. Take some time to experiment with some of them. And I'm a bad person to preach this, because I don't do this. Because in our job, like we read about things rather than try them. At least myself, like new papers, etc. It's part of my job, but I understand that that this is a very like specific position that I have, a privileged one, I would say.
Thank you very much. I will switch from paper to technology because we've got Slido and we've got some questions. Let's start with the first one. Will every employee need to know how to train the AI? No. How to train the AI?
I'm not really 100% sure, but if you go to internet or YouTube, there is a video from conference Slovakia Tech, which is the conference in Košice, and I think was probably 6-7 years ago, when Professor Sinčák from Technical University of Košice had a presentation about Quo Vadis AI, or where you go, artificial intelligence, and he explained in his presentations. It's 45 minutes presentation, so you can search it. I can send you a link if you want, and then you can distribute to people. And basically, he has been talking about two things, right? So he said we will need people who will be able to code and obviously create models for AI. But this will be probably around 20% of the population. We would need 80% of the population to be able to operate and use AI technology, right? So basically, the answer is no. Not everybody would need to be really able to code and create new models and enhanced models, because it's probably not possible.
Maybe I would add that everybody should learn how to prompt. So as Gabriel was mentioning, you need to define correctly what you are asking from AI and how to ask it. This will be the new skill for the next month. So everybody learn how to prompt.
Exactly. And now we can combine the things together, because there's such a thing called in-context learning, which means that you write a prompt with a small set of examples that you use, like impromptu fine-tuning of the model. So you ask for classification of a sentence. Let's say, is this sentence like a review, for example? You have a review and you don't know whether it is positive or negative. You ask the ChatGPT, okay, is this review positive or negative? it surely can answer. He or she, I don't know. Let's put it like that. It can answer. But if you give him or her or it, like for examples, 2 positive, 2 negative, maybe some borderline examples, and tell it that, okay, this is positive, this is borderline positive, this is negative. The performance in that case is usually better, especially if you supply it with like domain-specific example from that domain that you are like analyzing. So this is a combination of 2, and sort of requires the notion about the training. I believe that not everyone needs to have the ability to code the fine-tuning or training of a model, but like understanding the principle, like in general, okay, this is a black box, we show it examples and it can be fine-tuned accordingly. That should be probably like taught to everyone. Otherwise, people won't really like consider it as a black box that is magical or something, and we probably don't want that.
Okay, coming for the second most liked question. What do you think about declining numbers of ChatGPT users and they burning through money? Will there be a real application that can make money for the companies? It's a pretty hard one. Anybody volunteering for that?
Maybe I would start. AI is not new. So just ChatGPT, it's just because of media. I believe this is because of media. There is such a boom, ChatGPT, and it went globally. Everybody knows GPT now. And I believe it was due to the fact that ChatGPT took all the internet and all the information, and people can get with 90% correctness the answer. So that's why everybody was so excited about ChatGPT. But I believe what is in front of us is how companies are going to use AI, and there will be different questions than now we have with ChatGPT. Ethics, security, and so on. ChatGPT, you don't know. Maybe as you were saying, you are not putting your thoughts into ChatGPT because you don't know where it ends. But now the next step is how companies will use these abilities and focusing on the different things that ChatGPT.
I can add to this. First of all, there are multiple models emerging, like other incarnations of the same thing under different companies. There is also a growing set of models that are open and you can run it on a large enough infrastructure yourself. This is definitely a trend in the scientific community where the reviewers now demand that you try your approaches not just with that black box that change every week, meaning ChatGPT, but also with more stable, more transparent versions of maybe lesser models like Falcon, maybe less smart models like Vicuna, but still some of that traffic goes there. And also for many tasks for which the ChatGPT is wonderfully accurate, you can really do with much smaller models, fine-tuned. Like if you have more, for example, we did a recent study in our institute with sentiment analysis. If you do have more than 200 examples of labeled pairs, it's already more advantageous for you to fine-tune a smaller, like for example, BERT-based language model than to use a larger model for prompting. So like a lot of tasks can be handled by much smaller models, and these large models can be, of course, helpful here because we can use them as dataset generators, dataset augmentators. There's really many tasks they can do for us, but only like for creating lesser models.
Thank you. We've got time for one more question, so I'm gonna pick one for you. Okay, let's go with this one. How do you prepare yourself to thrive in AI times? Let's close it with this personal question. How do you prepare yourself?
Research paper reading, like,
which is for everybody.
And discussion. No. Yeah, I understand. Like engaging in discussions with researchers. Find your local researcher, buy him a beer, or her a beer, or a prosecco, and just talk to these people. They will be happy to talk of working hours.
I think you will have new friends after today.
They found a researcher.
For me, this is topic as I'm thinking about what are going to do with so many people in IBM with implementation of AI. What skills do they need to acquire? Where they are now and how to build and prepare them for the future. Because we have finance, accounting, IT, how to work with this. Answers are not yet defined. And talking to much smarter people than I am. So this is very
local researchers,
researchers or people who are working with this. Our colleagues, they are very smart and really to talk with them, listen to them, and to see their point of view. It's very interesting.
I think there is nothing to add, right? So basically read, listen, watch, and really get yourself obviously informed, right? So you can watch or listen podcasts, you can really watch some videos. Obviously, there are many TEDx and all these type of, I would say, things which you can really somehow find on internet. Make sure that you understand what is going on, right? So basically, I spend a lot of time reading, watching when I'm driving, when I travel. Obviously, I have always some podcast or some video. I would say training or some sort of things, right? So basically, constantly educate yourself, and this is what I'm doing every single day, right? So learn new things, right? I started learning Japanese, for example, right? So probably I will not use it ever, but you never know, right?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. We've got a lot of more questions, so I think that people are really interested in AI, which is great as well for IBM. We are preparing a big conference called Brainstorm, so if you have any more questions regarding this topic, you are more than invited. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lucia, Jakub, Gabriel. Thank you for being here.